I can tell when somebody is pressing me because they think they know me more than I know myself because of the way I look and their assumptions about how I might feel about myself based on the way I look. Because if they looked like me, they would feel like me, but they don't feel like me because of the way they look in reference to how I look, and that breeds insecurity.
Baby wanna fuck, coming late, mine, smashing on the couch, on the floor, done. What?
What's good, gang? It's Swag. I'm back in the video. Welcome back to Late Night Swagging. Today, I want to talk about how I think aesthetics are becoming more valuable than genuine connection. And I think that's really going without saying. I think a lot of people nowadays are so focused on what people make them look like that they're not worried about who they are anymore. The things I've seen down here since I've been a part of this internship, all based on the aesthetic of the situation and not who these people are as individuals, is crazy. Like, I'm not chopped cheese. So I've had some people approach me here, and there's some I've tried to give a chance to talk to, but I've kind of quickly understood that, like, you're only talking to me because I make you look a certain way. And, like, I learned that very quickly. I learned that very swiftly about people. Like, there's this idea of who you think I am and what I present for you. And that's just not just with romantic relationships. That's also, like, platonic ones, too. Especially a lot of men here compete with the aesthetic of other men. I think that's odd. But everything nowadays amongst younger people, especially when it comes to, like, genuine connection, if it's not being sought out by that other individual, it just feels like they're trying to create some sort of realm or battleground for ego because they can't compensate for their lack of esteem and self-esteem, excuse me. And it's become abundantly clear to me that the better I become at being myself, the more likely I am to encounter insecure people. There is no shortage of insecure people on this planet, and it seems like the greater you get at being yourself and becoming secure within yourself, they're all drawn to you. And some of them genuinely do want to be your friend and want to figure out what it is they like about you so much, but majority of the time what ends up happening is that these people get very bitter around you. These people get so caught up in how they can't mess with you that they become low-key obsessed with exposing what they think you are to other people in their heads. Like, the way people project certain stigmas onto me here is absolute insanity to me. And I can sense it in the way they talk and the way they act. And, like, I have my shortcomings of personality and outbursts here. When I'm playing basketball, I get extremely competitive. And when I feel like somebody is attacking my character and not necessarily my skill level at basketball, I have this need to be like, oh, hell no, you're not finna talk to me like that. And, recently I kind of had an outburst with somebody who, like, I play with on a semi-regular basis. And when he did that, when he kept poking, and eventually I outbursted at him, I was talking absolutely crazy. And I realized how, yes, it made me look a certain way, but I was more so disappointed in myself for allowing myself to get that upset in the first place. I was very disappointed in myself for allowing myself to give him that reaction because it was about the aesthetic of the situation. It was about the way it looked. Because nobody cares about what, like, I was talking to a guy who I think kind of has my back here. We were in here, we're talking about it. And he was like, bro, I was telling you to chill because I know that he's not worth responding to. Like, this person was telling me he can't F with you for real as a person. Like, to the deepest core of his humanity, he can't F with you as a person. He not even worth the response. Why are you bothering to respond? And when that clicked for me, I was like, okay, this is a waste of my time. I shouldn't even be talking to dude for real, like, ever. I can't allow him to. Fast forward to the day after it happened. I see him at Capri, me and the guy that, like, kind of has my back. I want to go pick him up so we could go lift. I want to go in the little crowded circle that he was in. I go to speak. He holds out his hand. We dap up. He goes, are we still beefing or no? In my mind, in that moment, I peeped. There was a shawty to the side who kind of associated with me and some other people that kind of, like, smiled at that situation, looking for my reaction. I could tell it was all about how I was going to react. And I kind of made a face, and I was like, bro, we were never beefing. because I was never beefing with him, but like the fact that he asked me that question, I was like, you're projecting very hard. Like this is all about what you think I got going on in turn. Like you're thinking about what you got going on and projecting that onto me. You're concerned about how I feel about you whole time. I'm over the situation. I was talking on it. Always from a place of self-reflection, not from a place of projection onto him. And like, but in that moment when he asked me, "Are we still beefing?" I'm like, "Bro, you're still project." Like, I can feel when somebody is testing my character because of the aesthetic I present. I can tell when somebody is pressing me because they think they know me more than I know myself because of the way I look and their assumptions about how I might feel about myself based on the way I look. Because if they looked like me, they would feel like me, but they don't feel like me because of the way they look in reference to how I look, and that breeds insecurity. So when they meet me, they have to ask me all these questions and present themselves a certain way and contest me in some way, especially the men, because it's all about looking better than somebody. And this obsession with looking better than other people, in my opinion, has caused this massive disconnect amongst humanity, especially amongst younger people, because we are so concerned about looking better than other people who are around our age. Like, bro, nobody has it all figured out. Nobody does. Like, I think a lot of people need to understand that. Gang, there is nobody on this earth who is around your age group who has everything figured out. I don't care what they driving. I don't care who they with. I don't care what their fits look like. I don't care what their follower count says. I don't care what they're doing. Nobody has anything figured out. But everybody's just so obsessed with aesthetics that it changes this perception of what people think having stuff figured out means. You don't have anything figured out, and nobody else does. Your best friend Aaron ain't got nothing figured out. Shawty down the street you trying to bag ain't got nothing figured out. OG down the corner ain't got nothing figured out. Like, nobody has life figured out. Everybody gets to live once as far as we know, right? Everybody has only lived their life cycle one time. Nobody has restarted their life cycle from scratch and made different choices and had a different reality. That's never happened. Nobody's ever restarted their saved game and loaded up a new save. It's never happened. Nobody knows what they're doing. But this idea of looking like you have it all put together, and the way people obsess with small little things that look aesthetically pleasing on somebody else is crazy. I've had people become insecure around me because I dress the way I want to. I like baggy stuff. If you couldn't tell, I wear baggy pieces. I wear baggy clothes, like 2000s Y2K, Adam Sandler, Little Bow Wow from Like Mike type baggy. I don't want to dress no other way. Like Boondocks Huey type baggy, like Boondocks Riley Freeman type baggy. And the way I've come across people who don't even match that aesthetic, that will kind of look at me a certain way, and like there's little stuff I've noticed in body language and tone when I'm being talked to too. Like, having a dermal and being secure and having a face piercing and not being gay is some of the, like, people, like, other people can't fathom that you have the audacity to express yourself sometimes. And the aesthetic of that is what pisses them off more than anything. Because they're like, oh, well, I can't see myself doing that, so why are you doing it? And then, like, they'll try to, like, make fun of you for saying you're different, or like you like, they're like, the way people project nowadays over aesthetics is crazy. But I say all that to say, in the face of all this type of disingenuous, LARPing that everybody's doing, I think that genuine connections aren't necessarily hard to find either. Like, I've met some people who I'm like, okay, you're a chill guy, you're down to earth for sure. You have some questionable reputable things said about you, but you're not half bad as a human being. But I think it's just that struggle of getting over the hump of what aesthetics do to somebody's psyche and ego that you have to kind of sort through sometimes. It's kind of like trying to find not a dime a dozen, but a penny a few. And that's kind of hard, But hey, man, that's just me though.